I'm Lisa Cowey. I'm the Technical Coordinator for IMPAC3T-IP. We are funded by the European Commission under Horizon Europe. We're a 3-year initiative. We're halfway through at the moment. And we are different to the project called Impact Licensing Initiative, which many people came and listened to yesterday. 2 completely separate projects. So I'm glad that we have a little bit of time today to try and highlight the differences. IMPAC3T-IP is putting together a toolkit. Our objective is to try and help technology transfer officers, licensing professionals and researchers and businesses to overcome the obstacles that would allow them to carry out a licensing deal. And that can be something that occurs very early on in the process, where you're trying to bring people together, when you're trying to develop a sustainable business plan. It can happen right down the end of the process when you're actually trying to think about the clauses that you would put into a licensing deal. And we have approached this problem through a scenario lens. So we have 3 scenarios. They all begin with C, and this is why we are IMPAC3-IP. If you see the C and you see the 3, this is why they're there. So 3 different scenarios. We have classical plus, we have co-creation, and we have crisis. And for each one of those, we are in the process of developing a small cluster of tools. So for classical plus, for many people in technology transfer offices, the focus is very much on patent licensing. And people are really good at this. I mean, we've heard all the sophisticated small changes that people are now making. But we recognise there is still a lot to be addressed. For example, with the arts, humanities and social sciences, where we would see there'd be significant impact for society if we could get more of those results to the outside world. And often what stands in the way is they're beneficial, but they don't have much economic value. And a technology transfer office would say, well, we don't have the resource to put somebody on to do 1,000 licensing deals. And we would say, well, this is what we call high volume, low value. This is long-tailed licensing, and we can find ways of helping you to get those results out to the outside world. We also look at enterprise drivers for this kind of licensing, where we have companies who are saying, well, actually, we should now be engaging in licensing for a completely different set of reasons than just trying to reach new markets, serve more countries. So we've taken a strong look at what drives enterprises to licensing under ESG. And particularly in this area of classical plus, this is one where we see really strong benefit from introducing new technologies. And that's why I'm keen that we have both the colleagues in the room, because their companies, their teams are now pushing that technology development for us under classical plus. Then we have co-creation. We don't mean collaboration here. We don't mean classical collaboration of the sort that we've had through the framework programs for years. We mean where you're trying to get a very diverse group of stakeholders in the room. They're probably there for different reasons, different motivators. They would think there are different reasons that they're going to finally bring this to market. And we need to find ways of creating trustful environments, creative, innovative environments. And our partner Demola would often say that there's more than one licensing stage. So very often for them, you have a creative environment, and then they will license things royalty-free, free license, non-exclusive, so anybody can take the idea forward. And then at a later stage, there will start being commercial licenses, royalty-bearing, when people actually start nailing down IP and taking it forward. And our toolkit is designed to help people to reach both those stages, from the point where you bring a regional development agency, a council, a group of students together in one room. And then we have crisis. When we first put the project together, obviously COVID was very much in people's minds. We were looking at the sort of licensing that had taken place, for example, ventilators, and eLucid had huge experience in helping people to get ventilator technology licensed very rapidly in a controlled manner, so it was safe. And I had fairly direct experience, having been a trial patient in the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine trial during the period when we were all in lockdown. So we felt we knew why people were trying to develop technology very rapidly in a crisis. Having looked at this more strongly, it also became very apparent to us that there are a large number of crises in the world that would cease to exist if more people had access to our technology. more equitable access to technology, and that it would certainly help some universities if they had a stronger toolkit to go out and negotiate with large companies to say, this isn't just about a single commercial deal. Our researchers and our institute want this to reach the widest number of potential beneficiaries. So equitable access. And that, of course, has knock-on effect. Anybody who's now starting to embrace responsible access will also say, well, variety of tools there that we could be using. Yes, please. How are we doing this? Well, we're developing the toolkit at the moment. We've started testing it. We've had 3 special interest groups who've helped us and who are now helping to test, many of them that came from ASTP and some from LESI, who we also have a relationship with. We are rolling out a training program next year designed to help people adopt a tool, a cluster of tools, or to understand how to adopt the entire toolkit so they can then take that on and help their colleagues to embrace it. And we've tried to find a way of embedding that in continuous professional development. So we're talking to ATTP about how you could come on the training course and it will contribute to you getting an RTTP qualification at the end of it. Next year we will run 8 physical training courses, 4 of them in widening countries. We're already in discussions with countries who've said, please come and run one here. We have a big event happening next year. You can come and run one of your workshops alongside our next conference. We come with our own budget. So anybody out there who is putting together a technology transfer network at the moment, or who has one in their country, and they say we have an annual event, Poland, Lithuania, we were very keen to talk to you. Please get in touch with us because we might well like to descend and offer our services alongside your conference. Partners, once again, ASTP, of course, we're all here. We also work with LESI. We have a formal relationship with LESI for the licensing professionals. Then we have universities, so we've got UCD, which bring us the Irish good practice, which is great. They've been brilliant. University of Alicante, who host the IP Help Desk, which is a wonderful resource for us. We have Itrinio. We have Nestor Rodrigo in the audience here at the moment, bringing us this wider scope on how you work with many universities, partly the German experience, but very international too. ARIC, who bring us the enterprise experience. Demola, many of you may have heard of them, very strong on co-creation. eLucid, we have it in the room here, has a stand outside, again, very strongly involved in the technological development of online tools here. And Metagroup, who once again are leading the project, they're managing it. If you want more information, we have a website. You will find that there is a leaflet on many of the tables. Again, I also don't want to leave with leaflets. Please take leaflets away with me. You can sign up for our newsletter. You can sign up for alerts. So if you think you would like to be in one of our training courses or helping to test tools, if you think you would like our team to turn up next year and run a training course with our own budget on site, then please get in touch because we'd very much like to hear from you. And I'm hoping we have a few minutes left, in which case Ed and Nestor will also, I think, be very keen to answer any questions you have about the technology development side, the technology-enabled tools. Christian, back to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lisa. And stay here. And I bet there are some questions to Lisa or to Nestor. Or to both. Yes.
Yeah, 2 questions. First, does your training or your models can be also used for MTAs and research agreements, which sometimes they can look a little bit like licenses because you started discussing IP and royalties and stuff like that sometimes? That's one question. And the second question is like if you are considering generating some kind of standard terms.
In terms of the training itself, we will train on the toolbox. So MTAs are not a specific part of our toolbox. We have about 10 tools per scenario. So, for example, if you're in the life sciences, which I think you are, for example, if you wanted to come on crisis, we would show you, I think, a great deal to do with the process of putting together a policy on equitable access, but how you could adopt something like the innovative the patent pool approach of saying that we will trigger use of an affordable access plan when you come to approval, and we can help you understand different clauses that would go into something, for example, that you were doing with AstraZeneca. So those fit into the toolbox that we have at the moment under the equitable access side. And sorry, the second half of your question? Standard terms. That would fall under the clauses. So yes, we can show you where other universities or research institutes like Pasteur, for example, have said this is a clause that goes into our equitable access licensing deal.